Hi folks, welcome again to one of the most enthralling, exciting and entertaining session of Science Scamper series for classes 6 to 8 by Educative, and I am your super science teacher Ambika. At Educative, we always empower all our students as how to think and not what to think. So if you want to experience the same, you must subscribe to the Educative YouTube channel. The subscription button is given below, guys. If you like our video, don't forget to press the like button and ensure to hit the bell icon to get all the latest updates from Educative. Now let's start today's session, and the topic for the day is air around us. Yes, something with which we are always surrounded. Air is always present everywhere we are going. Like right now, I'm standing over here in the recording studio. I am surrounded by air. You are sitting at your home, in your study room, or maybe in your bedroom, or maybe in your living room. You are surrounded by air. If we go out, air is present. If we come in, air is present. If we are sleeping, running, walking, talking, whatever we are doing, we are always surrounded by air. Without this, we can't imagine our life, because actually life is not possible without it. Now in this module, which topics we are going to cover? Now let's have a look to them. So we are going to cover these topics like, is air present everywhere around us? Then properties of air, then composition of air, significance of some important gases present in air, then how is the oxygen in the atmosphere is replaced. Then we will see how does oxygen become available to animals and plants living in water and soil, and some other uses of air. These are the topics which we are going to cover in this module. Now, without making any further delay, let's start today's session. Is air present everywhere around us? Yes. The answer is absolutely and very mandatorily yes. Air is present everywhere around us. As I have told you, wherever we go, whatever we are doing, we are always surrounded by air. Can air be seen? Can we see the air right now? Can you see the air right now? No. It can't be seen, but it can be felt. Its presence can be felt. How its presence can be felt? If we are outside, when we see the leaves of the trees swaying, we know that it is because of air. The air can also be felt on our face and on our arms when we are maybe riding on a scooty, or we are just walking, running or jogging. We can feel the presence of air. The kite which flies in the sky, we make it fly, but it flies because of the energy or the force of the wind. So the presence of air can definitely be felt, but it cannot be seen. It is a gaseous substance. It is a mixture of many gases. And that is why it's not visible, but presence is there. Of course, presence is there. You can't see the air which is coming out of the air conditioning or from your fan, but you can definitely feel it if you stand under the fan or if you stand near the air conditioning. So that is all about air. Now let's move ahead. Properties of air. Air is transparent and colorless, obviously transparent, because we can see everything except air, and air is present all around us. That means it is transparent, it allows the light to completely pass through it, and it is colorless because it does not have any color. It occupies space. Now, to understand this property, we need to understand a particular experiment kind of a thing. Over here, it's given air occupies space. Now, what you have to do actually, you have to take two tumblers, A and B. Okay. What you can do, put a straight empty mug or a glass in tumbler A filled with water straight like this, pressing it down without tilting it even a little bit. बिल्कुल भी उसको तिरछा, बांका, ऐसा वैसा कुछ नहीं करना है. Just straight. Put it straight. All right. And you will see that nothing will happen. It will go by applying a little force. It will go. Okay. Then take the next tumbler and put another mug or a glass in it, and after putting it a little bit, start tilting it. उसको थोड़ा सा तिरछा करने लगे या हिलाने डुलाने से लगे. What you will see? You will see that small bubbles will start coming from this water. आपको bubbles दिखने लगेंगे. What this shows to you? This shows that air always occupies the space in whichever it is present. ये जो glass या tumbler हमने use किया है, इसमें actually क्या present है? Air. अब जब आप उसको वाटर में बिल्कुल सीधा प्रेस कर रहे हैं तो वो एयर इंटैक्ट अंदर बनी हुई है, लेकिन जैसे ही आपने उसको टिल्ट किया, थोड़ा सा हिलाया डुलाया तिरछा किया, सो व्हाट हैपेंस दैट एयर हैज स्टार्टेड कमिंग आउट, एंड व्हेन एयर comes out in water, it comes out in the form of bubbles. पता कैसे चलेगा air बाहर आ रही है? It is colorless, it is transparent, it cannot be seen. Then how you will get to know that air is coming out? With the help of those bubbles which are coming out. So these bubbles show that air was present inside this glass or tumbler. So जहाँ पे भी एयर प्रेजेंट होती है वहाँ का जितना स्पेस होता है वो पूरे में फैल जाती है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, right now in your room, you are sitting in your room, so the complete space of your room is occupied by air. All right. The next one is air has mass. Obviously it has mass. It's very simple to understand. You can see this part. You have to take two balloons, inflate them and hang them with the help of a thread on a hanger. Now pierce one of the balloons, which is very interesting and funny for you. एकदम से जाके पप करके balloon को burst कर देना, to pop up the balloon. So you have to do that. Now what will happen? One is inflated and the other is uninflated. So your hanger will start tilting down towards the inflated ones. जिसमें air है जिस balloon में, उसकी तरफ हैंगर झुकने लगेगा. क्यों? क्योंकि एयर का अपना वजन है. तो जिस बलून में एयर है वो हैवी है, जिस बलून में एयर नहीं है वो लाइट हो गया है. सो दिस शोज दैट एयर हैज मास ऑल्सो. And the last property is it supports burning. Obviously it supports burning, and to understand it, take a candle and lit it up with the help of a matchstick under the guidance of your parents or some guardian or some elder person. You can't do any of these activities alone. This is the very strict instruction by your super science teacher Ambika. Don't try any activity alone at home. You always need the guidance and support from your parents or guardians. Alright? So what you have to do, take a candle, just lit it up and it will start glowing. It will start lighting up. Now put a glass over it. Within few seconds, you will see that the candle will extinguish. The flame will extinguish. Why is it so? Because when you have put the glass, the contact with the air has been cut off. And whatever air was present in that portion of the glass, that is being utilized by the candle flame to burn. And once that air is finished, it is utilized by the candle flame, it cannot burn. यानी कि अगर air present नहीं है, तो आग नहीं जल सकती, किसी भी साइज की हो, किसी भी क्वांटिटी की हो. चाहे आपको एक कैंडल जलानी हो या a complete tree or a jungle. If there is no air, burning cannot be done, combustion cannot be done, fire cannot be put up. That is the basic thing. It supports combustion. All right. So these are the basic properties of air. Now let's move ahead. Composition of air. So air is basically you can say mixture of gases. A lot of gases are present in air. You can see a pie chart is shown to you. According to this, 78% air contains nitrogen gas. So the major part of air is actually nitrogen gas. 21% is oxygen, which is the life supporting gas without which we or any other living organism cannot survive. Plants, animals, birds, aquatic plants, aquatic animals, insects, microorganisms, everybody needs oxygen, and it is 21%. Then 1%, the remaining 1% is carbon dioxide, argon, water vapor, other gases, dust particles, all these things. So that is how makes the 100% of air. So you need to remember that 78% is nitrogen, 21% is oxygen, and 1% water vapor and carbon dioxide and other gases. Now air is always very thin or very light on mountains in comparison to plain areas. So if you climb a mountain over there, you will feel that you will find maybe a little difficulty in breathing because the composition or the air in itself is very thin. So when air is thin, these gases will also be a little less over there. So ऑक्सीजन भी कम होगी तो आपको दिक्कत हो सकती है. और इसीलिए if you seen Discovery Channel and a few episodes of mountaineering, so mountaineers always used to carry an oxygen cylinder because as they climb up the mountains, the air becomes thin and the quantity of oxygen starts decreasing. Then the percentage of oxygen is higher in areas where there is more greenery or more trees, because you know that the balance of oxygen in the atmosphere is maintained by trees or plants. तो जहाँ पे ज़्यादा plants होते हैं, जहाँ पे ज़्यादा trees होते हैं, वहाँ पे अच्छी खासी oxygen का level होता है, वहाँ पे आप ज़्यादा fresh feel करते हैं, suffocated feel नहीं होगा, like that. Okay, let's move ahead. Significance of some important gases present in air. Okay, now one by one we are going to see that what exactly the role of these gases which forms the air. The first is oxygen. It is a life supporting gas, as I have told you. Without the presence of oxygen, none of the living organisms can survive. Required for combustion. Combustion means burning. Without this, burning cannot take place. Then nitrogen, required by plants and animals for their growth. It is used to manufacture fertilizers. What are fertilizers? खाद, जो एग्रीकल्चरल फील्ड्स में क्रॉप्स को ग्रो करने के लिए, एक बेटर क्वालिटी क्रॉप्स को ग्रो करने के लिए जो फार्मर्स स्प्रेड करते हैं, दोज आर फर्टिलाइजर्स. इन हिंदी यू कॉल इट खाद. इट हेल्प्स इन कंट्रोलिंग बर्निंग. नाउ सी, दिस इज अ वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग थिंग टू नो. If you have noticed, it's written required for combustion. And what is required? Oxygen. It's written helps in controlling burning. What is nitrogen? And both are part of air only, isn't it? ऑक्सीजन की वजह से कंबशन होता है या बर्निंग होती है, चीज़ें जलेंगी तब जब ऑक्सीजन का सप्लाई होगा. और अगर आपको बर्निंग या कंबशन रोकना है, यू हैव टू स्टॉप इट, देन यू नीड व्हाट? नाइट्रोजन. एंड बोथ आर पार्ट ऑफ एयर. So actually air is what? It is supporting combustion also, and it is not supporting or stopping or extinguishing combustion also. It is like vice versa. Both the functions are done by air. एक तरफ support भी करती है, एक तरफ रोक भी देती है. So this is something very important you should know. Let's move ahead. Carbon dioxide, a very important greenhouse gas. Now, what is a greenhouse gas? That I am going to explain you. It is very important for plants and animals as well. For plants, it is a part of photosynthesis. Without this gas, photosynthesis process cannot take place. That means the process of making food by the plants. For that, carbon dioxide is extremely essential. Now, what is greenhouse? Because it's written greenhouse gas, so you should know. Okay, so just understand. This is your earth. So first we will understand for daytime. When there is day, that means there is sun. So sun rays are coming on the surface of the earth, isn't it? These are your sun rays. So sun rays are coming on the surface of the earth. Now what happens? Some of the rays are absorbed by the surface of the earth and some have to reflect back. Suppose 4 rays were there, 2 were absorbed by the surface of the earth and 2 have to reflect back. Now, this what is happening in the daytime. In the night, when there is no sun, the reflected ones, see 1, 2, 3 and 4. So, second and third were not absorbed by the surface of the earth and they have to go back to the sky, or they have to go back into the space. Now, what happens that carbon dioxide is present in air. So carbon dioxide actually absorbs at least one of these rays so that earth does not become very cold in the night. भाई दिन में क्या हुआ? दिन में तो अर्थ के सरफेस ने 2 रेस को एब्जॉर्ब किया और बाकी 2 को नहीं कर पाया तो वो रिफ्लेक्ट आउट होने लगी. अगर वो 2 बिल्कुल ही बाहर चली गई तो जब रात होगी और सन का सप्लाई बंद हो जाएगा, देयर विल बी नो सनलाइट. सो व्हाट विल हैपन? द अर्थ विल बिकम कोल्ड. अर्थ ठंडी होने लगेगी. Then how we people will survive? So this carbon dioxide gas, what it does, that it absorbs some of these reflected ones. Maybe उसने third वाले को absorb कर दिया. The third sun ray was absorbed by carbon dioxide. This is greenhouse. This complete phenomenon which I have told you is greenhouse. And because carbon dioxide is working in this greenhouse, it is known as greenhouse gas. That is the importance of carbon dioxide, because oxygen, nitrogen and water vapor water vapor is, but this oxygen and nitrogen are not greenhouse gas. Carbon dioxide is a greenhouse gas which contributes in maintaining a minimum, a moderate temperature of the earth. It contributes in maintaining a proper and moderate temperature of the earth. So it's very important, children. All right, now let's move ahead. Yes. Now, how is the oxygen in the atmosphere replaced? Okay, all my lovely kids over there who are viewing this video, if you have any doubts, any queries, problems, and if you want to give your valuable feedback, don't feel hesitated. Just put your thing in the comment box below, and I ensure you that your super science teacher Ambika will definitely get back to you. Now let's see what we have to discuss. How is the oxygen in the atmosphere replaced? So I have told you that the balance of oxygen in the atmosphere is always maintained by plants or trees. So exactly what happens? Photosynthesis. In photosynthesis, oxygen is released by the plants and carbon dioxide is taken by the plants, which is released by humans during respiration. So it's a cycle. Trees or plants are releasing oxygen during photosynthesis, which is taken by humans during respiration. Humans release carbon dioxide in respiration, which is taken by plants in photosynthesis. So it's a cycle which is going on between human beings, animals, and trees. So that is why trees or the plants are the major contributors and the only contributors who maintain oxygen balance in atmosphere. That is why we should not cut trees. We should plant more and more trees. So always remember, always make this thing fixed in your life, that maybe on your birthday or maybe on the anniversary of your parents or maybe on any particular important day or date for you in the year, always remember to plant at least one tree in a year and take care of it so that you are contributing something to this earth. All right, so this is how the balance of oxygen is maintained in the atmosphere. Now let's move ahead. Use of oxygen by land and aquatic animals. So plants and animals that live on land can get very easily oxygen from plants and trees because it is present in air. Aquatic animals live on the oxygen which is dissolved in water. Even water contains oxygen, isn't it? What is the chemical formula for water? It's H2O. This H is for hydrogen. And this O is for oxygen. So your water also contains oxygen, and the aquatic animals and aquatic plants which are inside the water, they live on this dissolved oxygen. All right? Okay, now let's move ahead. Okay, I hope children you all must be liking this video. So it's the time for you to press the like button and don't forget to subscribe the EduCatUp channel if you haven't done so. Now let's see what are other uses of air. So some of the uses are: the atmosphere protects all living organisms from harmful radiations from the sun. Definitely. The harmful radiations like the ultraviolet radiations or the UV rays which are coming with the sunlight are blocked by the atmosphere, which is the blanket of air, the mixture of air. Air allows sound to travel. You are able to hear me. I am able to hear you. We are talking to someone. How we are able to hear each other? Because sound waves travel through air, so air allows the sound waves to travel. Wind helps run windmills to produce electricity. Other than that, compressed air is used to fill up the tires of vehicles. Otherwise, aapki motorbike or car, how it will run if there are no air in the tires. Then wind also helps in dispersal of seeds and of pollen grains, which is important for pollination. Wind helps birds fly. Our birds fly with the help of air and wind only. Sailboats move and gliders float also with the help of air. So air has a lot of uses other than only the survival of living organisms on this planet. But without air, we cannot live. And children, we should always remember to keep the air or the atmosphere clean, because nowadays you must also be aware that a lot of air pollution is happening. So we should always try to put more and more trees, potted plants, so that we can have more and more oxygen in this atmosphere or air rather than contributing towards the pollution. We should not. All right. So with this, we have come to the end of this super amazing session of AI Around Us, and I hope you all must have subscribed the EduCatUp YouTube channel and must have liked the video also. So for your science teacher Ambika, it's time to sign out. Until the time we meet again, be safe, be happy, and keep enriching yourself with EduCatUp. Bye-bye, children.